Hi all Diablo 3 fans, welcome to my channel. I would like to show in this video how I've created my Bonemancer, Necromancer, using the Bone Spear as a main attack skill. It took me a while because that build is not easy to work on, even though it's easy to gather the mine pieces and then start doing reefs level 60, 65. To reach 70 and above is quite difficult. You need to learn how to operate it before you can really go into it deeply. Okay, let's go through the items I've used. I've chosen the same set I've chosen always on my builds. So it's a broken crown as a helm, golden skin as a armor. Two sets. One is Kind Destiny with pants and gloves, and one is Saga's Sage Journey with belt and boots. The bonuses are all the items are chosen to get the bonuses of emanate, so you can see there is always an emanate, except this one ring, which I've chosen to be able to use two sets at the same time. It's the Ring of Royal Grandeur, and the second ring is Avarice Band. I've got Nemesis Barcers, I've got Dove Energy Trap. You can use Flavor of Time if you up to getting longer lasting pylons and shrines, and the Spoulders of Zakara for indestructible items. You don't have any items in Diablo 3 which gives Enchantress focus with Emanate or any weapon with Emanate, so it's up to you what you will put here. For the skills, I'm choosing Charm to get mobs temporary fighting for me. Not that she can make it happen because they keep dying faster than she can charm them up. Property Harmony, reduce skill cooldown, very important skill. Powered Shield, which is reduce damage from range attacks, increase armor for and slows melee attackers for you. Focused Mind, it's an aura which increase attack speed. This is when you're not playing hardcore. When you're playing hardcore, you need to move to Fate Slaps. So that's Enchantress done. For me, for the mindset, for the Bonemancer, you need to use the Masquerade of the Burning Carnival. I'm using 6 items because I want to use different ring in an ice cube. So it's helmet, shoulders, armor, gloves, pants, and shoes. As a must-have amulet, it's a legendary Haunted Vision. That's something you must have on this build because it gives you the simulacrum all the time. You don't need to wait 120 seconds to bring them down. You just get them constantly. They take your life, but if you have a lot of life, you usually don't die. With the Wyrst, I'm choosing Gelmindor's Marrow Guards. They give bonus per increased damage to simulacrums. It's not a good roll, it's only 356, max you can have is 400. Dante's Blindings as a base, additional 43 damage reduction, maximum you can have 50%. If you're talking about rings, it's Brick's Rat and the Convention of Elements. They both increase, like this one is increasing 154, maximum I think is 200, yeah. On a single element for 4 seconds. This is non-static and it rotates around the elements. And this one, whichever enemy is uncursed, it's pull them into one target location and then apply the curse. So if we're using the creepy curse on one enemy, all of the others gone into him and they've got the same curse on them. And then it's easy to blow them up with the bonus pair with Shatter as a rune. Okay, and now the weapons. Skite of the Cycles and Lost Time. This is obvious for this build because this increases the secondary skill damage, which is our bonus pair. But you need to have the bone armor on you. But we usually tend to have it because it's increasing your toughness. And Lost Time, which is cold skills increase reduce movement speed, and this also increase your movement speed. It's not a best roll again, it's only 8% when you can have 10. So firstly I would do now is to look for all of those items in better options. As gems, I'm putting the yellow ones. As you can see, they increase the intelligence. When you are done, you can put diamonds. When you have enough damage, you're going through the rifts very easily. You can change them to increase the toughness for diamonds. Diamonds in head is a must-have because we want to reduce the cooldown of the skills, especially the creepy aura and the bone armor. And in weapons, as usual, you use the green ones, which increase the damage by 120% critical damage. The legendary gems will be Stone of Vengeance for increasing the damage, Bane of the Powerful for again increasing the damage, and the Bane of the Trapped, which is increase the damage again. So all the skills to increase the damage, basically. Don't know if I mentioned the Dante's Blindings, which is additional, 43, which can be 50% damage reduction. That's about the items. If you're talking about the paragons, the core is the movement speed in this one and the maximum essence. Then you can load your points into intelligent till you feeling comfortable with killing monsters, and then you increase the vitality a bit. Offensive ones, I've gone through the critical hit damage first, then attack speed, then critical hit chance, and then cooldown reduction. But that's when you have all of those items on. If you don't have all of the items on, and you need to depend, especially you don't have the amulet, you need to depend on the cooldown of Simulacrum, you need to put cooldown reduction first. Then you can reset them and put the points different way. In defense, I'm going through all resistance first, then armor, then life, and life regeneration at the end. Utilities, resource cost reduction, because that is the biggest problem of this build, the essence. You will be keep running out of them. You won't gonna be able to do the reefs. You will need to reset it. You will see how it works. It's always drives me mad with this essence on this build. And then area damage because you're using the bone spare, which has the shatter run, which makes the bone spare detonates on the enemy. Gold picking radius as a third and life per hit as a fourth, because you're not attacking physically with your weapon. So that's that done. Now the Kanai cube. Two options for ring. Either Wisdom of Kalan, which increase maximum stack of bone armor, or Crispin's sentence if you want to increase the attack. I would have the Crispin essence used, but unfortunately I didn't find it yet. As you can see, most of them are there, not the Crispin's essence. Bad luck. Stewart Graves, that's something you need to have for the increased movement speed for 10 seconds after using Blood Rush. And Malthus Petrified Spike, which increased cost of bone spare, but it's also increased dramatically 700% on the bone spare damage. So it's not 20 anymore, it's 40, but we've got something which increased the essence points from 250, which is the simulacrum. Maximum essence is increased while your simulacrum is active. So with Haunted Vision on, simulacrum lasts forever and gives double the essence. Okay, so let's go to the skills. Mouse skills, I'm using Curse, the creepy fee with Enfeeblement, which is the hour which slow down the enemies. It's basically when you use it with all of those bonuses you have, the enemies just stop for a moment, for those 5 seconds definitely, which is enough to kill them. The bonus pair with Shatter, which is the main attack skill. So it summons the projectile of the bone spare, which when it touches the enemy, it explodes. So with this one, it's good to have the simulacrum with reservoir, which creates two simulacrums, which duplicates your skills. So basically, when you got simulacrums and you use bone spare, there's 3 spears going into the enemy, which explodes. So that's not one, it's area damage. And Devour Aura, that's something which saves your life. Devour Aura with Devour with Devouring Aura, because you will be depending on the skill to fulfill your essence and the bone armor to protect you and increase your damage. And I've used the dislocation, which enemies are also stunned when you use it, and Blood Rush, which is with metabolism, which provides additional charge. This is to get to the enemies as well as run out of them. As a passive skills, I'm using standalone to increase the armor. I'm using final service to save me when I'm receiving the lethal damage. Fuel by death, which increase the speed when you pick up the corpse. With Devour, it works very well. And Dark Creeping, which while using Sky, gain 2% essence. This can be changed. I've used it like that. Don't know if it's a good point or no. Okay, so that's how the build look like. I'm also set up with Bottomless Potion of Fear. That's the only one I found. I wouldn't be using it. I would like to have something else here. But like I said, this is an early stage of a build. It's something from which you're starting the grinding bit, which you're trying to find the same items with better options. But this is sufficient enough to beat level 70, which then open you the world to get the primal items. Let's see how this build look like when you're doing level 70 Greater Rift. I will focus on playing because it is important to look what you're doing. So first of all, you're getting the simulacrums on, then you get the bone armor when you are next to the enemies, because if you quit farther than they stand, you're not gonna get any bonuses of this skill. So I need to activate bone armor, and then I can only beat the enemies. As you see, it's quite difficult to start with that, especially when you firstly met an elite monster. So one more time, we're getting simulacrums, we're getting bone armor, and we're trying to kill him. Okay. So don't be worried when you die, it's not the end of the world unless you play hardcore. That's why I don't recommend playing hardcore on the beginning. But you see the damage is well enough to complete that run without any troubles with the time. Then you slowly go, you don't need to speed up. Try to keep far away from the monster, especially if it's an elite box. You gather all of the items, so that's good for farming keys on the normal rifts, because you're not speeding up like with the monk or let's say demon hunter till you get it fully established that you don't run off the essence and you have no problem killing monsters. As you can see, that build can make a lot of mess, especially on the start of the rift. Luckily we didn't run out of essence because we richly died, so that is the way out of losing the all essence, which does happen to me often. You need to be comfortable with killing monsters. You cannot do the shifts to high levels because you're not gonna be able to cope with the essence requirements, and this bone spare is taking a lot of essence. Okay, we've got second level. You will need to learn how to position yourself with those simulacrums to make sure you're taking the most benefit of their skills repetition. They need to be basically behind you, next to you, so they shoot the same targets. But as you can see, when you get the flow of the shift of the rift, then you have no problem to kill any monster packs. But be careful with essence. That's the only tricky point of that build. Start of the shift and essence during the shift. The rift, sorry. Not on any shift, but yeah. Of course, when those big packs comes into play, you need to make sure you've got the bone armor. See, I've run out, but I've managed to get it back on me. It's a very weak build if you don't have bone armor on. so let me focus on doing that real quickly for you. I will need a lot of focus with those big groups of monsters. As you see, I'm running out of essence. I'm only on like 60%. But with more of those enemies which are weak, then you have no problem. That's why you're running from the big group of weak enemies to small group of very tall ones. Like this one was. And don't forget to put your Decryptify aura. That's also increase your damage, so it's worth doing it. Yeah, I've got a problem because on Monk you don't need to focus so much, so I was playing Monk too long and now I'm not putting the attention to the bone armor to be on top of it and have it always on. But yeah, easy to learn, difficult to master kind of character. With the bosses you don't have any problem because you just spam the bomb spear. All you need to make sure you have enough of it to kill the boss, or leave some of the corpse around so you can collect them while you're killing the boss. Okay, let's collect all the items. I've got exceedance of the blood shards, but I will keep them. And again, increase the gems to as high level as possible. But try to do all three first to level 25, and then upgrade them slowly till level 100, or whichever limit you will reach. Thanks for staying till the end of this movie. If you like it, please leave the thumbs up. Leave your comments if you think I've done something wrong so I can improve myself. And if you want to be on top of the new videos, just subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next time. Take care.